Today, we are diving into that age-old question. Are we alone in the universe? As you improve your English with this podcast, we'll also dive into exciting topics that will help you level up your language skills in a fun and interactive way. We've got this fantastic article called The Search for Alien Life, Are We Alone in the Universe? And let me tell you, it is a real page-turner.
Wow.
It kicks off by throwing us headfirst into the sheer vastness of the universe. Trillions of galaxies.
Huge.
Each teeming with billions of stars and even more planets.
I mean, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around it, isn't it?
I know. It's humbling for sure.
Yeah.
But it also sparks this sense of wonder, right? Because with all those stars and planets out there, the odds of Earth being the only place where life exists seem...
Pretty slim.
Yeah, pretty slim.
Exactly. And the article dives into this idea of the habitable zone, that sweet spot around a star where conditions might be just right for liquid water to exist, which, as we know, is essential for life as we know it.
So even if life is incredibly rare, statistically speaking, with that many planets scattered across the universe, it's got to be out there somewhere.
That's the thinking. Yeah. Now, what form that life might take is a whole other question.
Right.
The article explores a range of possibilities, starting with the most likely candidate, microbial life.
So we are talking tiny organisms like bacteria, maybe clinging to existence in some hidden corner of a distant planet.
Precisely. And think about it. We found microbes thriving in the most extreme environments on Earth, scorching hot vents, freezing glaciers, the depths of the ocean.
Wow.
So it's certainly plausible that similar life forms could be surviving in conditions we might consider hostile.
It really expands your definition of what life could look like, doesn't it? But let's say we do find those Martian microbes. What would that mean for our understanding of life itself?
Oh, it would be monumental. Just imagine the implications. It would mean that life isn't a fluke,
Right.
a one-off occurrence here on Earth. It would suggest that life is a fundamental force in the universe,
Wow.
potentially arising wherever conditions allow.
It's mind-blowing to think about. But what about intelligent life?
Yeah.
The article delves into that too.
It does, and it brings up a fascinating paradox.
Yeah.
The Fermi paradox.
Okay.
If the universe is teeming with planets, and life is likely to arise on some of them, then statistically there should be many civilizations out there.
Right.
Some potentially far more advanced than our own, so why haven't we encountered them?
That's a good question. Where is everybody? Maybe they are out there, but we just haven't detected them yet. Or maybe they are deliberately avoiding contact, like a prime directive from Star Trek.
Yeah. Those are possibilities for sure. But it's a question that's haunted scientists and philosophers for decades.
Right.
It forces us to confront the possibility that maybe, just maybe, we are alone, at least in our corner of the universe.
That's a bit of a chilling thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the article also throws out some even wilder ideas, like the concept of life as we don't know it.
Right.
What's that all about?
That's where we have to really stretch our imaginations. What if life doesn't require the things we consider essential, like water or oxygen?
Okay.
What if it's based on silicon or even plasma? Life forms so utterly alien we can barely comprehend them.
Okay, now you are really messing with my brain.
Yeah.
It's like something straight out of science fiction. But
Yeah.
I guess that's the beauty of this topic, right? It pushes us to think beyond our limited Earth-centric perspective.
Absolutely. So given all these possibilities, where are scientists focusing their search for alien life? Well, the article highlights a few hotspots, starting with our rusty neighbor, Mars.
Mars. Why is it such a prime candidate?
Well, for starters, there's evidence that Mars wasn't always the dry, desolate wasteland it is today.
Right.
Billions of years ago, it may have had flowing water, a thicker atmosphere, maybe even oceans.
So imagine Elon Musk achieves his dream of colonizing Mars, and we set up shop there only to discover that microscopic Martian life has been thriving beneath the surface all along. What a welcome party that would be.
It would certainly rewrite the history books. But Mars isn't the only place in our solar system that's got scientists buzzing.
Oh, really?
The article also mentions a couple of intriguing moons, Europa and Enceladus.
Tell me more about them. What makes them so special?
Well, Europa orbits Jupiter and Enceladus orbits Saturn. What's fascinating about these moons is that they both have subsurface oceans, vast bodies of water hidden beneath thick layers of ice.
Oceans underneath all that ice. How is that even possible?
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scientists believe that tidal forces from the giant planets they orbit generate enough heat to keep the water in a liquid state.
Yeah.
And where there's water, there could be life, right?
It's like those deep-sea creatures we find on Earth thriving in complete darkness. Who knows what strange and wonderful life forms might be lurking in those alien oceans?
Exactly. And the article mentions NASA's plans to send robotic submarines to explore these moons in the coming years. It's an incredibly exciting prospect.
It makes you wonder what we'll find down there. But our solar system is just a tiny speck in the grand scheme of things. What about those exoplanets we hear so much about? The ones
Yes.
orbiting distant stars?
Oh, yes. Exoplanets. The article dives into those as well. Astronomers have discovered thousands of them, and some, like Proxima Centauri b and Kepler 442b, are located in the habitable zones of their stars,
Wow.
making them prime candidates for hosting life.
So potentially Earth-like planets out there. That's incredible. But how do we even know if there is life on these distant worlds? We can't exactly send a rover to check it out.
That's where the James Webb Space Telescope comes in.
Okay.
It's the most powerful telescope ever launched into space. And it's equipped to search for what scientists call biosignatures, telltale signs of life.
Biosignatures. What are those exactly?
Essentially, they are gases in a planet's atmosphere that could indicate the presence of life.
Okay.
For example, if we detect a combination of oxygen and methane, that would be a strong hint that something's alive down there, because those gases are often produced by living organisms.
So we are essentially sniffing out signs of life from trillions of miles away. That's pretty ingenious.
It is. But there's another way we're listening for signs of alien life, and that's by searching for radio signals. The article talks about SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which uses giant radio telescopes to scan the skies for unusual signals.
So like picking up alien radio chatter.
Exactly. The idea is that if an advanced civilization is out there, they might be using radio waves to communicate just like we do, and if we are listening carefully enough, we might just pick up one of their transmissions.
I remember hearing about the wow signal years ago. Wasn't that a mysterious radio signal from space that no one could explain?
That's right. Back in 1977, a powerful signal was detected for a brief moment, and it sparked imaginations worldwide. To this day, no one knows what caused it.
Wow, that's a real head scratcher. It makes you wonder if we are missing other signals out there. Maybe even messages from alien civilizations trying to contact us.
But speaking of mysterious signals, what about those fast radio bursts, or FRBs, that scientists have been detecting?
Those are another intriguing puzzle. They are incredibly powerful bursts of radio waves that last just a few milliseconds and seem to be coming from distant galaxies. Some scientists speculate that they could be signs of advanced alien technology, but for now their origin remains a mystery.
It seems like we're surrounded by these tantalizing hints of something extraordinary out there, but we just haven't quite cracked the code yet.
It's a constant reminder that there's so much we still don't know about the universe. But let's shift gears for a moment and address a question that's always fascinated people.
Mhm.
Have aliens already visited Earth? Ah, yes. The age-old question of UFOs and alien encounters. It's a topic that never fails to capture the imagination. And lately, there's been a lot of buzz about those Pentagon UFO reports. Are we finally getting closer to the truth?
The article takes a balanced approach, acknowledging that while most UFO sightings can be explained as natural phenomena or misidentified objects, some remain unexplained.
Right.
And those Pentagon reports you mentioned confirm that military pilots have encountered objects they couldn't identify, which has certainly fueled speculation.
It's intriguing, to say the least. But even if some of those sightings turn out to be extraterrestrial, does that necessarily mean aliens are visiting us?
Not necessarily. It could be that we're picking up evidence of their presence without them actually intending to make contact. Maybe they are observing us from afar, or perhaps they are just passing through our cosmic neighborhood.
It's enough to make you want to scan the skies every night, just in case you catch a glimpse of something extraordinary.
It certainly adds a layer of excitement to stargazing. But let's not forget the potential implications if we do encounter an advanced alien civilization. It could be the most transformative event in human history.
It's hard to even fathom what such an encounter would mean for our understanding of ourselves, our place in the universe, and the very nature of existence.
Exactly. And I think our listeners are eager to delve into those implications with us.
I agree. We've got a lot more to discuss. So if you are enjoying this deep dive into the search for alien life, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be back after a short break to explore the mind-blowing possibilities of what might happen if we do find evidence of extraterrestrial life.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing the tantalizing evidence and the lingering mystery surrounding the search for alien life. But let's shift our focus now to the profound implications of what might happen if we do make contact. The article we've been discussing delves into this very topic, and it raises some truly mind-bending questions.
It's a bit overwhelming to even contemplate, isn't it? It's like trying to imagine a color you've never seen before. But let's start with the basics. What kind of impact would the discovery of even simple microbial life have on humanity?
Even finding something as small as a bacterium on Mars or in the depths of Europa's ocean would be earth-shattering. It would mean that life isn't this unique phenomenon confined to our little blue planet.
Right.
It would suggest that life could be a fundamental force in the universe popping up wherever conditions allow.
It would change our entire perspective on our place in the cosmos, wouldn't it? Suddenly we're not so special anymore.
In a way, yes, but it's also incredibly exciting. It opens up this vast realm of possibilities. If life can exist in those extreme environments, imagine what other forms of life might be out there just waiting to be discovered.
It sparks this sense of wonder and curiosity, like a whole new universe of knowledge has just opened up to us. But what about the practical implications? What would this discovery mean for science?
It would revolutionize scientific fields from biology to astrophysics. Scientists would be scrambling to study these alien life forms, trying to unravel their biology, their evolution, their relationship to life on Earth. Imagine the breakthroughs in medicine technology and our understanding of the origins of life itself.
It's like opening a new chapter in the book of life.
Mm-hmm.
But the article takes it a step further.
Yeah.
It explores the potential impact of encountering intelligent alien life.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting because it challenges not just our scientific understanding, but also our philosophical and religious beliefs, our understanding of history, our entire worldview.
Right. It forces us to confront the question of whether we're the most intelligent species in the universe, which is a pretty humbling thought.
Absolutely. And it raises all sorts of questions about our own evolution,
Yeah.
technological advancements, and our place in the cosmic pecking order. Are we the exception, or are there civilizations out there millions of years ahead of us?
The mind boggles at the possibilities. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What if, despite all our searching, we find nothing?
Right.
What if we're truly alone in this vast universe?
It's a sobering thought for sure. But even if we never find definitive proof of alien life, the very act of searching has value.
Okay.
It pushes us to explore, to innovate, to ask the big questions about our existence.
It reminds me of that Carl Sagan quote, "Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known."
Exactly. It captures that spirit of scientific curiosity and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. But let's go back to that hypothetical scenario where we do make contact with an intelligent alien civilization.
Okay.
How do we even begin to communicate with beings so different from ourselves?
It's hard to imagine, especially when you consider the potential for cultural barriers. Their values, their beliefs, their way of thinking could be completely alien to us.
It would be a monumental challenge, but one that scientists have been pondering for decades. One approach is to rely on universal languages like mathematics and physics.
So sending them mathematical equations or diagrams, hoping they can decipher them.
Precisely. The logic is that if they're advanced enough to have developed technology like radio telescopes,
Right.
they'll likely understand the basic principles of math and physics. It's a way to establish a common ground.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But even if we can establish basic communication, there's still the fear factor.
Right.
Hollywood has conditioned us to be wary of alien encounters.
Yeah.
What if they're hostile? What if they view us as a threat or a resource to be exploited?
It's a valid concern and one that we need to approach with caution. But some scientists argue that a civilization capable of interstellar travel would likely have evolved beyond such primitive instincts as conquest and aggression.
So more evolved both technologically and ethically.
Potentially. Perhaps they'd see us as a young species,
Yeah.
still in our developmental stages, and might even be willing to share their knowledge and wisdom with us. Imagine the technological leaps we could make with their guidance.
It's a tempting thought, but there's also that darker possibility that Stephen Hawking warned about, that contact with a more advanced civilization could have devastating consequences.
Yeah.
Like what happened to the Native Americans when Europeans arrived.
It's a sobering analogy, and it highlights the need for careful consideration and open dialogue about the potential risks and benefits of contact with alien life.
This isn't just a scientific issue, it's a societal one that requires input from scientists, policymakers, ethicists, and the public. We all have a stake in the outcome.
Absolutely. It's time to move beyond the realm of science fiction and start thinking seriously about the implications of alien life and what it means for humanity.
Well said. It's a conversation we need to have, but for now, let's turn our attention to some of the questions and comments from our listeners, because I'm sure they have some thought-provoking insights to share. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring the vast possibilities of alien life, from microscopic organisms to advanced civilizations, and now it's time to turn our attention to you, our listeners. It seems you've got some fascinating questions and insights to share, so let's dive right in.
I'm eager to hear what's on people's minds. This is a topic that sparks so much curiosity and speculation.
Absolutely. First up, we have a question from Sarah, who asks, if we do encounter aliens, do you think they'll be friendly or hostile? I'm a bit scared to think about it, to be honest.
That's a natural reaction, Sarah. It's the question that's fueled countless science fiction stories and movies, and as we discussed earlier, there's no easy answer. It's possible that a civilization capable of interstellar travel would have transcended violence and aggression.
Right.
But we can't rule out the possibility of them posing a threat intentionally or unintentionally.
It's a reminder that the universe is a vast and mysterious place, and we should approach the unknown with a healthy dose of both curiosity and caution.
Exactly. We have to be prepared for any eventuality, which is why it's so important to have these conversations and consider the potential risks and benefits of contact.
Okay, next question. This one comes from David, who asks, what do you think the government is hiding about UFOs? Do you believe there's a cover-up?
Well, David, that's the question that everyone wants answered, isn't it? As we mentioned, the U.S. government has acknowledged that military pilots have encountered unexplained aerial phenomena, but they haven't offered any definitive explanations, which naturally fuels speculation.
It's like they're saying, we're not sure what these things are, but we are not telling you everything we know. And that lack of transparency just adds to the mystery and intrigue.
It certainly does. But it's also important to remember that governments have reasons to be secretive, especially when it comes to national security. So while it's tempting to jump to conclusions about cover-ups and conspiracies,
Right.
we should also consider other possibilities.
Maybe they're just being cautious and don't want to create panic or alarm, but until they are more forthcoming with information, the speculation is bound to continue.
I think that's a fair assessment. Now we have a question from Maria, who asks, do you think we'll ever be able to travel to other star systems and meet these aliens face to face?
That's a great question, Maria, and it's a dream that many of us share. But as we discussed earlier, the distances involved are mind-boggling, even traveling at the speed of light, which is currently impossible. It would take years to reach the nearest star system.
The challenges are enormous, to say the least, but human ingenuity has a way of overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. We've already achieved incredible things in space exploration, so who's to say we won't crack the code of interstellar travel someday?
It's a goal worth striving for, even if it takes centuries or even millennia to achieve. Okay, we have time for one last question. This one comes from Alex, who asks, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get involved in the search for alien life?
That's fantastic, Alex. It's inspiring to see so much enthusiasm for this field. And there are many ways to get involved, even if you're not a scientist. You could join a citizen science project like SETI at home, which uses your computer's spare processing power to analyze data from radio telescopes.
You could also volunteer at a local observatory or planetarium, attend lectures and events, or simply stay informed and engaged with the latest discoveries and developments.
Exactly. The most important thing is to cultivate your curiosity. Keep asking questions and never stop exploring.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the search for alien life. It's been a mind-expanding journey, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
It's been a pleasure sharing these incredible ideas and possibilities with you.
A huge thank you to all our listeners for tuning in and for sending in such thought-provoking questions. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars and wondering who knows what secrets the universe holds.